Hello and welcome from CTEC 2011. I'm here with Bob Potter from Expressor Software, our partner in data integration. Welcome, Bob.
Thanks, Jeff. Pleasure to be here.
Let's start off with a really simple question. Why do we move data? Why can't we just leave data where it is, put views on top of it, and look at it live?
That's a great question, and the honest answer is that in some use cases it makes perfect sense to leave the data where it is. And if it's a quick snapshot that you want to report on or have a dashboard, and you want to take two views of two tables, you want to join them together, and you want to do some quick and dirty analysis, then that's the right way to go. There are a lot of use cases where it doesn't make as much sense. If the data is dirty and you need to do some data quality operations on the data, then it makes sense to move the data. If you have complex queries and performance is a requirement, then it makes sense to put it into a purpose-built database and do complex queries on the data. You physically need to move data in those instances. So the right answer is that it always depends on the use case.
Okay, good. Bob, you're in the data integration business now. I know that you've led businesses in data warehousing in the past. What are some of the challenges that you've seen in building a data warehouse?
So I think the biggest challenge with the data warehouse is that the projects get too big and the ambitions are too lofty. And you have a set of requirements, you staff the project, you build the architecture, the data model, the reports, and then 18 months later you deploy something and the whole business has changed, right?
Right.
The other issue is that the ETL part of the project, people don't think about it. They think about the reporting, they don't think about the ETL. There's a lot of design issues that have to be considered, level of expertise that has to be considered in working and manipulating with the data. And then of course the other thing is that the cost of these projects are just huge. And sometimes that they just fail under their own weight.
Okay. Yeah. Now we have a joint customer, Moffitt Cancer Research Center. Why did they choose Expressor, and what is it that they're doing? How are they using that?
So Moffitt has a cancer data warehouse. It's under the Comparative Effectiveness Research grant that they got to actually take microarray data from tumors in patients, load that into a warehouse, compare that with other patients in other hospitals that have similar profile, and do this analytics, if you will. Okay. And they're using us primarily in the strength of our metadata facilities and the semantics capabilities we have in our product.
Right. Good, good. Regarding databases, obviously there are choices. Why would you use a specialized system, piece of hardware, for example, like Teradata or Netezza, compared to using an in-house Oracle, SQL Server, etc.?
So in many cases for data warehousing, a general purpose database management system like a SQL Server and Oracle are just fine, right? But there are a lot of use cases where you need to do very fast loading of data into the database, parallel loading. Again, you want to do very complex queries. Performance is an issue. Sometimes it has to do with just maintenance of the data warehouse. And in those cases, typically mission-critical kinds of BI analytics use cases, then the purpose-built data warehouse databases are the right way to go, like Teradata.
Right. Okay, good. LABVANTAGE is using the Expressor software to do our LIMS migrations between these two versions. How does the software licensing work? So how does it work for a migration? How does it work when a customer purchases, for example, a business intelligence solution like DecisionScapes, where they keep it on site? How does that licensing work?
So we spent quite a few months getting this right. So in the case of a migration or an instance consolidation, all of the LABVANTAGE consultants who do these are outfitted with the Expressor software. They go into the engagement, they do the work, and in most cases they actually leave with our software. There's no license that has to be done with the end user customer in those particular use cases. In DecisionScapes, which is the excellent time to value business intelligence solution that LabVantage is offering, then we're actually in the solution architecture. So we're there with the reporting environment and the solution that LabVantage has built. And we have worked out a very good reseller arrangement with LabVantage, so they leave our software behind.
Okay. So how is that supported? I mean, we have these two very different scenarios. Obviously, during migration, we leave with it. That's fine. But then the solution where expressor stays. So what is the customers? Who do they contact, for example? Who does that support?
Well, in nearly all the cases, right, the first line of support is LabVantage, right? Because the customer has contracted with LabVantage, they've come in, they've provided the solution, right? If there's a problem and the problem is in our software, then we will fix that problem, right? We'll send out a patch, we'll support LabVantage, we'll provide that patch directly to the customer. If it's clearly a data integration problem and the customer prefers to interact directly with us, then LabVantage can just let that support flow through to us. So we've worked all those issues out, and we think it'll work real well.
Great. So we're partnering together.
We partner together.
Good.
We sure do.
Well, thanks so much for your time. And I appreciate you being here at CTEC 2011.
Thanks, Jeff. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. All right, that's it. Appreciate everyone listening, and hopefully we'll have some more data integration and migration videos and blogs in the future.